As we say that, I'm kind of wondering, when I picked, hello, Tony. Hello, Karen. We were just talking about, so I love the name of, but mostly Disney. I'm really, really happy with it. What's up, Christian? But sorry, now I'm trying. Now I got the live in my ear, and I want to make sure it's shared out over Facebook. It's weird. Oh, there it is.
It's on YouTube.
Yep, it's on Facebook. It just popped up.
The Facebook.
I just try to I share it out to, but mostly Disney. I don't think I would change anything now, and I really like, but mostly Disney. Although every time I say it, people go, huh?
Really?
But the one thing about it is that when I do t-shirts and stuff, I can't put Disney on there. Oof, Karen, food poisoning. That's no good. Yeah, you get as much rest as you need. That's not fun.
Yeah, my wife is laid up on the couch. She had 2 teeth pulled today. She looks like a chipmunk. She's not feeling too good. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go in the other room and let you lay in peace and quiet.
Yeah. And dude, this flu is no joke. Like usually I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. The flu's going around. It's unbelievable how many people have it.
I took 2 of my employees out this morning. Like they came into work. I was like, turn around, go to the doctor, go home. Don't even step foot in here and get everybody else sick.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then I'm just, I'm so behind on everything. I haven't done a newsletter since this year. I did almost finish. I'm almost done. I'll have the video from Festival of the Arts out tomorrow night. Nice. So when you're done listening to Lou live, you can watch my video. And you'll see as we get started here, it was an interesting day. But there's just so many things I want to do. I did get us an Audible link, so we should be able to advertise Audible on here. And if anyone signs up for a subscription, I'll have that ready by next week. I'll have a one of these numbers ready to go for us. And then I think you get I don't know what you get, but we'll see if we can't make a little travel money for us, we'll figure that out. So we'll see. Yes, Karen, I did. I got last week's show out the very next day. Honestly, it's your mic boom that makes it so much easier. Andrew.
My mic boom?
Yep. That mic boom saves
as much noise anymore.
Nope. It saves me like 20 minutes of editing time. Because I don't care live. Like really, live, that's the whole point. Bumps, bruises, knocks here and there, whatever, who cares? But if I'm okay, before we start, I'll say this. On the way home yesterday from Florida, there's a podcast I listened to, and we were listening to that. And then my buddy had recommended this book about transhumanism and people. Guy was a weirdo. Karen, by the way, I have your shirt. It's on my desk. I am putting it in the mail tomorrow. I've got some socks for Sean that I thought he might like, and then I'll put some stickers in there. But that will be mailed out tomorrow. So DM me and make sure I have the right address. It came while I was away. I'm pretty slow. The next is to get Chris and it's the one I start in France. Get Chris his coffee mug sent over and mailed to him. What was I just saying? Oh, podcast. And so I listened to Joe Rogan, and I've never listened to Joe Rogan. Like he's the most popular podcaster in the history of podcasting, right? And we listened to Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and then another guy, but the sound quality was so bad.
Oh, his is horrible.
Chris, you will definitely have some stickers in there, I promise. I don't have any socks.
For all the money he has, his podcast sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's not great. And then his ads are so loud, and I'm all for him. I don't mind the ads. Like, I don't mind, it costs money to do this stuff, so I don't have a problem with that. But it's so much louder than the podcast. So we're driving in the car, and my wife's car, I hate the way her stereo works. And so it's really difficult it's a pain. I don't like her car. I'm ready to get rid of it. It's a pretty car, very beautiful car, but I don't like it. All right. So, hey guys, welcome to the But Mostly Disney podcast. As always, I'm Tater here in Virginia, and my friend on the other end in Charleston, South Carolina, Andrew.
Hey guys, what's up?
How's everybody doing tonight? I'm ready to go.
Warm.
Yeah, it's like it should be snowing cold here.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Did I see somebody drove off a bridge today in Virginia Beach on the news?
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch the news.
Oh, yeah. I happened to walk in the door and they were talking about a car that runs off pier in Virginia Beach. I was like, what?
Oh, that did happen a long time ago. Let's check. This is why you pay the big money to be here. I'll check the local news. Yeah. We always chat a little bit before we get going. And so Tony's making fun of me for having audio problems. But in my wife's car, it doesn't make sense at how much cars cost that they can't design them a little better. And it's frustrating. And frankly, it's dangerous. I don't see it. Was it at the end of a pier? Car drove off the end of a pier?
Yeah, somebody drove in the pier. It was on NBC, I think my wife had on. I walked in the door. Yeah, Karen said, yeah, lady went off the pier. She was in mental distress. I would hope something's going wrong. I don't think you drive a perfectly good car off a pier, but.
And it happened recently?
Today.
That's weird. It's not on our local news.
Huh.
All right. This is really good audio. We're live, live doing the news that is, but that's why we call it, but mostly Disney, right?
It's a glorious 3-hour finale.
Oh my. Yeah. This one happened in 2024, the one I see.
Okay.
And if I'm being honest, it's when I first started like doing social media, and I happened to be awake when it happened. And she says NBC Nightly News had it on.
Yeah, that's where we saw it.
All right. Somebody else find the link so that I don't sit here.
4 days ago it happened.
4 days ago. Really?
Yeah. And a Navy diver jumped in to save her.
Wow. Oh yeah, here it is.
WTKR.
Yep, I see it now. Over by Bubba's on Shore Drive, which has a great this chicken sandwich. It's phenomenal. It's a good restaurant. I wonder what happened. That water's cold over there, and there's a really that's a pretty serious current.
Well, it didn't take long for that car to go under either.
Yeah, it looks like I'm getting an ad. It looks like I can't tell from here, but interesting. All right. So, what's that? Yeah, I told you we are. Yeah, it's definitely Doug. What's up, Caleb? How's it going, buddy? Well, again, that's why we call it, but mostly Disney, just in case. But yeah, I stopped watching the news a long time ago, and I don't even watch Disney news that much. Yeah, I'm much happier for it. I've got enough hard stuff. Yeah. So it is freezing cold, and I just got back last night about 11 o'clock from Disney World. We went down and did Festival of the Arts, which I think last week I posted, what's your favorite festival? And that one gets a lot of love. People like that one a lot.
Yes, they do.
All right. And here's my question to kind of have running in the background, because we were talking about this at dinner Sunday night. Are the festivals, like each one wears a different hat, right? But is it the same outfit? Because it's food, wine, and music, right? For Festival of the Arts, you get Broadway. For the other ones, you have just bands.
Bands.
And then Christmas, you get the candlelight procession. Festival of the Holidays has obviously the Santas and food. It's Christmassy. And I think if I had to pick, that's my favorite. And then Festival of the Arts has paintings and then food booths and drinking, and then Broadway. And not much in the way of decorations. They have the chalk art, and they have that wall where you can paint a square so that, what's up, Matthew? How you doing, buddy? We were just talking about you before the show. And so they have those, and then Flower and Garden, which will always hold a special place in my heart because it's the first one we ever saw. So that one, I mean, really, I think it's when Epcot looks the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
that was our first festival, was Flower and Garden. Now we didn't know we were doing it, but the first year they had the Farts Festival, as Jeremy Stein calls it. We stumbled upon it the first year they had it. We're like, was this like an extension of something else? Because nobody really knew much about it, and then it kind of took off from there. But it's like you say, I think that one reminds me a lot of Food and Wine, just because it's different food booths, and they got it's got the paintings and the people drawing and all that stuff in the Broadway. But it's just kind of like, hey, we know that this is very popular. Let's extend it a little longer than we need to and just call it a different name.
All right, just so you know, don't look up Farts history. You will get a very different
University of Flatulence.
Yeah, not what you're looking for. I was just trying to look and see when it started.
18 or 19?
Has it been that long? So the only one I know is Flower and Garden was 30 years ago. So 2017.
Okay, that's close.
Yeah, good job.
That was like I said, our first one was Flower and Garden, and that's our favorite. But we stumbled upon that one just by booking a trip, and at that time, since it was the first one, everybody's like, "What is this?"
Right.
But and it wasn't that long either. I think it was only like 2 weeks then.
So Festival of the Holidays started officially in 2016. It started in 96 as Holidays Around the World, and then officially that. And then the Candlelight Procession moved in 94 from Magic Kingdom to, I know Flower and Garden is 30 years old.
Uh-huh.
And then, so when did Food and Wine start?
I thought it started in like 94.
Dude, I love that you know this.
A weekend
96.
festival.
Oh, so
96.
close.
So close.
As a 30-day event to boost attendance, fall attendance.
Okay. That's right. It was 1 month, and then they pushed it out. I thought it was a weekend.
Well, that makes sense.
The one at Swan and Dolphin, is that just one weekend, or is it 2 weekends? Their food festival that you went to.
I think it's just one. I think it's 2 nights.
Okay. Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Matthew, as you know, I'm not really much of a planner, but I had thought about that when we got there, and I purposely didn't read anything about Festival of the Arts. That refused to say farts, and that, even though I just did. I refused to read about it. I wanted to just kind of stumble across it. I did have dinner with Jeremy Stein on Saturday before we went, so I did kind of get some tips on some things to try, which I think I completely ignored. But I had read about the Lorcana stuff because I don't do anything with it, and I have a pack of cards I've been meaning to give away in my backpack. So if you want them, Matthew, you can have them. But if you'd wanted them, I get, the whatever the special cards are, I don't know. Well, when you hear how our day went, I probably wouldn't have had time anyway. But what I was thinking in my head, and sometimes like as one gets older, as one does, things start kind of melting together. And I was trying to think, like, when did those booths become permanent? You know what I mean? Because I remember Flower and Garden, and we always went Flower and Garden because my wife's a teacher, and so spring break was when we could go. My kids were in private school. She's in public school. Their spring breaks are different. So she can't take the time off. We would take my kids out of school for usually 3 days and then do her spring break and go. And then once the academics got too difficult and the school kind of told us, hey, stop taking your kid to Disney during spring break, we started going in the summer. So, but I remember like going, wow, they put these little booths up. And then I realized, wow, these booths are always here. Like they just became permanent fixtures of Epcot. It's kind of wild. And then I think they still add some, like maybe it's food and wine where they add some tents over by where they put the Christmas tree at the front of Epcot, in front of World Showcase.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes me feel better because I was kind of wondering, like, am I just not paying attention at all? So we did go, I will say we went to, we got in town. I was going to stop by Podfest because Lou Mangello was speaking in the afternoon. Decided not to. And then we checked into our hotel, which I can't recommend. I didn't have it wasn't magical, but it was a DoubleTree on hotel. I mean, so, you know, a Disney hotel, but not a Disney hotel. But we had no hot water. We had, it was bad. And everyone was very nice.
The one across from the Hilton?
It's the very last one on the right. It kind of looks like the Contemporary a little bit. And we've stayed there before and it was great, but they were having a tough time. And then my daughter decided to show up as we were leaving Friday and Friday night, getting ready to get on 95. She called and was like, hey, can I come? Sure. So she drove down, met us in Santee, South Carolina. And then we drove to my son's house, left her car there. And then drove over. But they also didn't have a hair dryer in the room, which I was okay with. But my girls were not. And so we called down, nothing happened, called again, nothing happened. And we're trying to get to Epcot. And I went down there and she's like, oh, well, housekeeping doesn't get here till 9. I'm like, look, I'm okay with that, but we got to do better. So fortunately, what the lady behind the counter wouldn't have done anything. This kid said, let me see if I can do something. And he ran off and found one, which was great. Turned it around.
That's cool.
Yeah. Also, the gate was broken, so I didn't have to pay for parking. So I was thrilled. And the hotel was fine. The bed was fine. The HVAC, the AC didn't work, but I fixed that.
Wow.
Yeah, it just wasn't great.
It's like you stayed at south of the border again.
South of the border, everything worked. I had no problems at south of the border.
Really?
It was just frightening.
Yeah.
I told you that place smelled, it was almost too clean. Like we just got rid of the blood. Yeah. We had to hide a body and this is where we are. So then we went to Disney Springs. I don't know if I forgot to bring underwear. So we had to go to Disney Springs and I bought some underwear. So that was a lot of fun for me. Got some cool Death Star underwear. It's awesome. Okay. And then met Jeremy and his wife Rhonda from Main Street Magic for dinner at Yalejo.
How's that? Never been there.
It was awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was doing is crawling because I called and they're like, oh, engineering will send somebody down. So Matthew says Tater's crawling through HVAC ducts. That's kind of what I do. But I do that anyway just to see. That's right. I quoted that Sunday at come down to Florida, sit by the pool. Oh, and the hot tub was not warm. So when we got there on Saturday, I went to jump in the hot tub and it was just like tepid. I know. And again, we've stayed there before and it was fine. But Yalejo was great. It was no. So Tony asked, did we get the paella? And we did not. Although I did just have paella here at this little wine bar, and it's really good. No, the restaurant itself, by the way, is expensive. Like it wasn't cheap. We ordered kind of off the tapas menu, and it was pretty spectacular. So like each of us, Charlotte, my daughter, and then Kay and myself, we each ordered 3 different things, and it was a lot of food. We were full. It was really good. Like I would absolutely go there again. And Jeremy says they have a really good lunch special.
Okay.
Like it's rapid fire. They want to get you in and out, like in 30 minutes, but it was awesome. So I'd go there again. And I don't know that I would have picked it on my own. So I was thankful that Jeremy did that. And then
See,
we
I
walked.
need somebody to do that because we're creatures of habit. So, like, every time we go, we eat at Enzo's Hideaway. And then, so when we go down in February before we go on a cruise boat, we're going to spend a couple days goofing off. And I was like, all right, Enzo's Hideaway in Ohana. And Julie's like, would you pick something else? I was like, no.
Well, and that's the trouble, right? Is that when you see, the chat is squirrel, but we didn't go to Morimoto's, and I really wanted to go to Morimoto's.
I can't get my family to go there.
It's so good, and there's so much. Like, it's very accessible. There's stuff there that is not. It's not really a sushi restaurant, right? Like it's awesome.
Well, my daughter freaks out when she sees the Peking duck hanging out the window.
Oh yeah, which I've never had.
Yeah, me neither. My sister went and she didn't like it, and so after that, everybody's like, "Do we go? Do we go?" And I'm like, "Let's try it. Let's make our own opinion. Let's go try it." But we haven't done it. So.
And Kyle, sorry we didn't get to meet up. I was hoping he and I could walk around on Sunday together, but I'll be back down in February, so it'll and March. But we walked around, went to the Lego store, which I've not been to in a long time. Let the girls shop a little bit, and then ended it with some Dole Whip, which they had pineapple, vanilla, cherry chocolate, and mango strawberry, and it was spectacular.
It does sound good.
It was really good. Yeah, I mean, this is true. One of the reasons we've talked about, like Chris says, when you find a restaurant you love, why risk it? And that's one of the things, right? Is that, especially if you don't get to go all the time. If I know if we go to the restaurants we love and the amount of money you're spending, it's always going to be awesome, right? You're always going to have a good time. It's going to be delicious. I can't think of any that I can't actually. Living with the Seas, I'll probably that whatever that restaurant is, Ocean
Sunshine Seasons.
No, I like Sunshine Seasons. We just never eat there. But no, what's the one with the and the sharks?
Oh, Coral Reef. Man,
Coral Reef.
Bad restaurant. Bad.
Yep. Bad. They need to redo that menu.
Yes, they do.
It's not even like, well, sorta. It's bad.
It's horrible.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. Coral Reef, you're right. So that was, then we got a little bit of a later start than we thought we would, and it was packed. Jeremy had said on Saturday they felt, and Rhonda said the same, or maybe Rhonda told us that it felt like everyone had gotten there Friday night and slept in, and about noon, Epcot just filled right up. We got there 9:45 instead of 8:30. We do too, Karen. We do try to throw one new place in each trip, each restaurant. That's what she says she does. And we were busy from the jump. Like, there was no getting on a ride real quick. Soarin' was at like 50 minutes right from the beginning. I mean, and technically we were just there to do food and wine. So but then when my daughter joined, now we got to hit some attractions. So we're back to like a hybrid festival day. So we walked in, we went around the loop. We did ride, went and saw Three Caballeros, which I love. And then I think we walked around. I'm trying to think of the first thing we ate was in Italy. I stopped and saw Art of Scooter. I love that guy. I follow him on Instagram. He does some cool lives too. I haven't won anything. I asked him to be on the podcast and he blew me off, but I was still nice to him. Not while we were there. He was actually very, very nice. Asked my name and everything while we were there, but I had messaged him a while back and he said maybe first quarter, but his art is spectacular. And I wanted to get back around and get a print of his, a Disney, monorail print, or Tomorrowland. That's really cool. And he has another one with Walt. That's with the map of the park of Disneyland. That's spectacular. And then I always see him posting with fine art by Noah. So we stopped by his booth. And then we ate in Italy and had some fried mozzarella with like a pesto sauce and a couple other sauces, and that was spectacular. And so our plan was to make a full lap around International Loop. Why? I'm trying to. I'm reading the chat and trying to talk, and it's not working as well. Well, Karen, funny you should mention how we passed by this. By the time we got to France, a wall of weather hit us, and I mean it was incredible. I don't like carrying things. I don't like having things in my pockets. That's why I loved when Magic Bands came out, that I didn't have to carry a wallet. I could just have a little thing. And I have these shorts that hold my camera really well, but I had a raincoat tied around my waist and it was driving me nuts. And I was so glad I had it because we were standing in France hiding a little bit from the weather, and the wind was whipping through there. It was unreal. It was unbelievable. And so then we made a break for it. We did a couple other things and had some good stuff. Stopped in Japan, ate everything they had, a sushi donut, which I think is spectacular. I think I don't like bao buns, but they had a Wagyu filled bao bun that it was good, but I just didn't want the, See, like Tony says, her dad's a fan of the Magic Band because I didn't have to carry a bunch of stuff. I carry a backup payment just in case something goes wrong, but it's much, much less than carrying a whole wallet and having to figure it out. And Kyle says that Scooter's mid-century modern style is awesome. It really is. I could decorate my whole house with this stuff. And Japan also always has these incredible drinks. Like they had some kind of boba drink and it was phenomenal. But from there, we kind of hightailed it across the park. And Charlotte took off. I don't even know where she was. Like she was so far ahead of us because she didn't have a raincoat. So she had a poncho and the wind was blowing so hard that she was blowing up like a balloon. She looked like a little clear marshmallow shooting across the park. I mean, it was unbelievable. And so we were going to go to Guardians, but the line was really long and outside. So we ended up shooting back across the other way to the land pavilion, and branches were falling down. Well, a branch fell down. There was a branch on the ground. I've got a video. Kay picked it up. She saved the day. But it was pretty unreal. So we rode Soarin', which is 55-minute wait, and then rode Living with the Land, which was walk on by then. And when we got back outside, the sun was out, but it dropped like 40 degrees. I mean, it was absolutely cold. I like that. Andrew and I both muted ourselves at the same time. You're supposed to cover me there. No, it was freezing. I mean, it said 50 on my phone, but it felt like 40. Maybe. Yeah, and I was wearing shorts.
We were down there and all we had was shorts and t-shirts, and we're buying sweatshirts and pants in downtown Disney Springs, whatever you want to call it. Because it dropped like 40 degrees in like a 6-hour time frame, and it wasn't supposed to do it. They're like, it's going to get a little chilly. No, it got cold.
We were prepared. So I had brought jeans in the car because originally I think when we left, it was supposed to be like 56 and rainy. So Karen says, and everyone was soaked. We weren't, because here's the weird thing. It didn't even feel like rain. It was tiny little misting drops. It felt like just 40-mile-an-hour winds with sandpaper hitting you. Like it was almost painful. It was like tiny little needles. So we actually weren't soaking wet. So that was something nice. So from there we walked over and rode Guardians. And honestly, it was just so cold that everyone was done. So my YouTube video is like, we're going to go here. We're going to go here. See you later. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Goodbye. And we went over the deconstructed dish and got something there. And we got a couple other little things and then jetted. So I didn't even do like the, eat 10 cookies and you get a prize. The video is going to be a little weak. It still somehow half an hour long, but it was not fun. And then I remember that last year at Festival of the Arts, I was soaking wet, like in the rain by myself, you know, I think I had to buy a poncho because it was terrible. So
Yeah, it's never fun when it's raining. It's better to be, I think, in the summertime when it rains for 15 minutes and it stops. Yes, it's humid, but you dry out. When it's
right.
cold and wet, you stay wet.
I did get a few new fountain reviews, Karen. I've got a couple that'll be coming out this week. I can't believe I still find them. Like, I can't believe it. And then what I really wanted to do is I noticed that someone commented on one of the fountain videos that he works at the TTA on the monorail platform, and said not the adult fountain, but the children's fountain is spectacular. I don't know.
On the TTA, all right, I'll have to go.
Yep, right up on the platform, but don't drink the adult one. Drink the kids one. But yeah, look, and then I met we went to Polite Pig and had some burnt ends. Yeah, and that watermelon tomato salad and the Brussels sprouts. And I sat there and watched. Our guest next week will be Paul Gowder. And I watched him drink expensive bourbons and tell me about them. They have some bourbons that are like $900 a shot there.
Yeah, they've got some old bottles up there too on that rack.
And I don't drink, but I was fascinated by listening to them talk about it. Ooh,
for money.
Yeah, Kyle says that the Polite Pigs wings are money, and I've never had those. I've never had the I drink bourbon and I know things. That's what Kyle says as well.
Full of rich mahogany and leather-bound books.
I mean, I've seen like some pre-war scotch that's expensive. I mean, but since I quit drinking, like everything has a sipping liquor now, right? Like when I drank, there was Cuervo, and that was the tequila. You know, now there's all these really fancy sipping tequilas, as opposed you're just trying to, see how many you can slug down before you end up driving to Atlantic City or something. whatever your choice, whatever tequila makes you do. But I like Festival of the Arts. And I think if you put a gun to my head, I would say that Festival of the Holidays is my favorite. And that's just because of Christmas, right? I just love Christmas. After that, I think Flower and Garden, just because it's so pretty, right? Like the whole park becomes an Instagram post,
Oh, exactly.
And the amount of effort that goes into it is ridiculous, Now, I did see when I posted asking everybody what their favorite festival was, a lot of folks were, I'm with Chris that nothing good comes from tequila. I believe that. And my grandmother said nothing good happens after midnight either, which is often when people drink tequila. And then, Matthew from Married to a Disney Addict, which go check out. They got Tim Foster coming on, which is going to be a good episode of their podcast. I mean, they're all good, but I like hearing Tim's voice. That it's so I'd almost rule out that festival as far as like ranking them, because you either love Christmas or you hate it. And if you love Christmas, it's going to be hard to beat that kind of feeling.
Well, Christmas at the parks in general is just a special time.
Right. I do think, I had a blast, and that's what we were kind of talking about. People were kind of beating on Food and Wine a lot, as though that one wasn't the best festival. And I'm like, well, is it really that different from Arts? Like, I guess there's no booths, right? I guess maybe that is the least one. And I can't think of it now. I have to go back and look at videos or something, because again, Christmas, you know what's there. You know why Festival of the Holidays is decorated beautifully. And then you've got Festival of the Arts, you've got all the art booths. Flower and Garden, you got, all of the butterfly house, all those topiaries. I mean, it's pretty spectacular. In fact, we went to get our picture taken right there as you're walking towards, I keep saying where they keep the Christmas tree, but right there looking back at the Sphere, and there was nothing. There was just little flowers. And usually I'm so used to seeing something there, some kind of display. It was a little plain. And then for food and wine, I can't remember what they decorate with, if at all.
I don't think they do.
I didn't see any chocolate.
They started that this week. Somebody posted it this morning.
Oh yeah, Karen asked if we saw the chalk art. I didn't see any, and a lot of that was because we got there, took a left into Mexico, going around that way. As my daughter she turns 21 in October, and wants to drink around the world. So she was plotting all that out, trying to decide whether she was going to start in Mexico or finish in Mexico.
Matt makes a good point about food wine. That, there used to be a lot of cooking classes, and Food Network used to go down there and put on a bunch of live shows and stuff. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, they should bring that back. And as he says that, and I don't think I went to it when it was like that, so I have no memory of it. But that was a lot of the comments, is when they had the chefs, when they had something going on. That would be cool to go pop in and see a cooking demonstration. Yeah. Otherwise, it is just eating and drinking. They'll bring it back or get rid of it entirely. Either way, they're going to make somebody mad, because that's what Disney does.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
But we had a blast. I mean, it's the only thing negative for me about the festivals is it means I don't eat in the restaurants as much as I'd like to.
Yeah. Because you're sitting there grab and go from all the...
And we were stuffed, dude. Like I brought Seamus to Festival of the Holidays, and I was surprised at how quickly he was filled up, because that kid's a machine, and he rose crew in college. So I mean, he's burning up calories left and right. So I was a little surprised at that. But Kay and I and Charlotte, I mean, we split everything, and we really only got through like 4 or 5 booths. It was unbelievable how fast it was gone. We were just full. Oh yeah, Karen's sending me pictures of the chalk art. But the other problem is we didn't make it back around there. So when the weather came, we cut through over towards, the land that way, even though we ended up going across. So we didn't really go back up that center promenade again, which is a bummer.
I'll have to make an effort to walk that way, because we're staying at the beach club, so we'll be coming in the back entrance. So we'll have to walk that way to see.
We didn't even ride Spaceship Earth. That line was really long. And we were just kind of done. Yeah, which I didn't think about. It kind of in my head, I was like, oh, it's no big deal. We have annual passes. And then I remembered, no, I have an annual pass. So I had to buy 2 full tickets, because Kay just can't go enough to make it worth buying a pass.
Right.
Trying to figure out. Oh yeah, I saw Matthew says Beach Club. I saw, was it Lincoln? Is that he wants to go back to Swan, but that picture was really cute. Y'all posted with the lighthouse in the background on Facebook. It was they married to a Disney addict posted an adorable picture of their kid. And they just booked Beach Club for their cruise. I've never actually stayed at Beach Club. We've stayed at Yacht Club a bunch, and that was kind of our thing. As when the kids were little, that pool, Stormalong Bay. I mean, I don't know why anybody stays anywhere else. Like, it's just awesome. So we would actually end up staying there more, because we'd alternate. We'll do Contemporary, and then Yacht Club, and then Polynesian, and then Yacht Club, and then Riverside, and then Yacht Club. Because that pool, I mean, that's a couple days right there to kill. I mean, it's awesome.
And now you have to scan your band to get in there because so many people try to
Oh yeah,
connive their way in there.
pool hop because it's
And you got
amazing.
Peaches and Cream right there too, so that helps.
I know, and I've not been in there since they expanded it. Like the
It's
last
pretty.
time,
It's nice now. It's not
yeah,
sitting on top of each other.
it was fun. I should find that video. I have a video of the kitchen sink,
The
and
big
a
kitchen sink.
whole can of whipped cream.
Yeah, we got the little one. We couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's tough, Tony. The deluxe resorts, and you can get a taste for them quickly. But I will say, and I'm said it before. I'm sure I'll say it again because I repeat myself constantly. But I love Pop Century, or not, I'm sorry, not Pop Century. I have not stayed at Pop Century yet, but I love the All Star Resorts. I think they're great. I mean, it's different, right? But I mean, I've had great service there. I think the restaurant's good, the pool's good, except for not having a hot tub. I mean, that's really the only downside is that I do like to go sit in a hot tub. And especially in the winter without kids, like.
And it helps when you stay at one of the value resorts that with an annual pass you can drive to the park because you're not worried about one of those long lines. Because one time we stayed at Sports, All Star Sports, and we went to Disney Springs and came back. And when we left, when we went there, we were just the only ones on the turnstile. We came back, the turnstile was full, and they were standing out in the walkway, and only 3 of us got off the bus.
Wow.
And the bus driver was like, I got room for 3. And people were like, and I'm like, yep, this is why we have an annual pass. We drive where we want to go.
I also feel like they put those stops at the back, like Polynesian's number 1 and All Star Sports is
36.
Which at the end of the night, when you got a kid on a shoulder and you're holding another one like this one, it's a lot. And Chris says if you have an educator, Swan and Dolphin has a 25% off discount. That's good to know. I've been booking a lot of Hilton resorts. And Tony says Art of Animation is the only value resort they'll do now. They love that one. I've never done Pop, and I've never done Art of Animation because most of the times that when the kids were little, we packed everybody into one room. So we needed a resort that would hold 5 people, and those don't. So in order to stay on property and not lie to Disney and have our tickets correct, then we had to stay somewhere moderate or better. And getting a family suite was just as expensive as staying somewhere else, right? Oh, Kyle recommends the Marriott Bonnet Creek for non-park stays. I do like Marriott. So we never stayed there when the kids were little because for the same price we could stay at Riverside or somewhere else. It was expensive. And then it's weird how, like, I'll go to book a hotel and Art of Animation will be more than Riverside.
Oh yeah, we've seen that before too.
For a regular room.
Yep. With the rack rate.
Every now and again, it'll pop up at a good price. And I've stayed with my pass holder discount, I've stayed at one of the All Stars for like $86.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. I love that Wyndham, which is right across from Disney Springs, and they have a Joffrey's right in the lobby, so it's perfect. But they $25 for parking, $25 resort fee, and by the time you add it up, I could stay on property. And I've been really lucky with the buses, but it's just me, I've had when I've flown down and taken the buses, it's been pretty good. Kyle says he'd sponsor me at Shades of Green. I am actually going to stay in Shades of Green in April. My brother-in-law is a Master Chief. And so he and my sister and their kids are going down, and I'm going with them. I'll do a review of that resort because I've never been in there.
I'm guessing you're going to play golf? You're right there.
I might have to. It would be silly not to, wouldn't it?
A shame if you didn't.
It just depends because now that all of our kids are in college. I hate leaving my wife alone for too long. Like my mom and I are going to go in March, and we're going to stay at Animal Kingdom finally. So I've never stayed there, so I'm excited.
If you want a deluxe feel without the deluxe price, Grand Destino, we've stayed there
Yes.
3 times, and that is awesome.
Yep. And Tony said that was her splurge was, but not the tower. But you can find those tower rooms at a great price.
Yeah.
And I really, again, French Quarter, and Matthew says French Quarter is their favorite non-deluxe. But again, we never got to stay there because it only holds 4 people. There's no fold-out bed like at Riverside. But I stayed there by myself one time because it was, what I'll do is kind of look and see what's cheapest. And they had a great price on that. And I love that resort. It's really tight, really compact. Those hot tubs are cool. I mean, it has a real New Orleans feel to it, and I love it.
Yep. That's a smaller resort, too.
It is. I didn't notice it. And that's the thing about a lot of these, the tips people give you and things that go on is on paper, they make sense. And then in real life, it's kind of like, well, but I did time it. And from our room at Riverside, it was a 10-minute walk to get coffee. And as I've mentioned before, those cups are small, right? So I need at least 2 of them. So that's 40 minutes a day, for coffee. Not that the walking's bad for me, but time at Disney moves in a strange way, and you're limited, because you want to hang out with your family and get to the park.
The Magnolia section.
Oh yeah, how was that?
And it wasn't bad because we were right across from the pool. So we're 1 bridge to the pool and then 1 bridge to the main building. So it's probably 10 minutes to get coffee.
Yeah.
Not too terribly bad.
You don't notice it when you're doing it unless you're in a hurry.
Right.
But I mean, it takes me 5 minutes to shower compared to my family. So I usually get up early. I used to anyway. So I'd be up and back with coffee for the first cup before anyone's even awake. Since we're talking about resorts, and Kyle says Old Key West is great for relaxing. I didn't know they had a sauna, but is that in the lighthouse? I think maybe I did know that actually. But we stayed there for the first time, and we had to drive over there on Saturday because my mom got my son a Mickey Mouse Tommy Bahama shirt for Christmas in June, and he opened it and it had the security tag on it. Ooh. So I had to go in the gift shop and say, "Hey, I swear I'm not stealing Tommy Bahama clothing. It's just," and they took it off. They were very nice. Yeah. But driving through there, I was like, I would stay here again in a heartbeat.
We stayed there and liked it. It's just, I'm like you. I like to be close to the main building. If not, like a deluxe, you're in the main building. But having to take a bus or drive to the main building to go to the gift shop or do whatever, it was I get it. It's kind of like a little apartment that you're staying at because it's got, the room we had a full kitchen and all because it was a suite, but it was just nice to be able to get to the main building when you want. But this one you had to either wait for a bus or drive yourself there.
And that's how I feel. I feel like I loved Contemporary when the kids were little because it was the first place that we really could let them go on their own and just boom, fly down. They could go down and get their own drinks. And that was a big deal, right? But they never had to leave. They never had to go outside. I felt like they were always protected. And I like, it's kind of the reason we never did DVC, right? Is because, I mean, it's expensive, right? That is probably the biggest reason. But the other reason was I like staying in the resorts proper. Like I didn't want to stay in a different building, right? I wanted to be in the resort. And so the first time we stayed at a DVC resort like that was Saratoga. And it's one of the prettiest rooms and it's a great setup. But if I wanted to refill my resort mug, it was an adventure. I will say that Key West, we were at the furthest possible place you could be. We were on the first green. And we were so far away from the main room and I loved it. Now we did have a quiet pool walking distance and there was a drink machine over there if you wanted. But I like old Key West. That room was huge. I mean, just
Our room was
ginormous.
huge. Yeah.
So, I mean, for a week or longer, if you can afford to stay there, and that was, we only stayed there because it was the cheapest room we could find on property for that trip. Like, it was cheaper than everything else. Yeah, Kyle, that's on my list too. I don't know that I've ever even seen it available. The tree houses. Kyle says he wanted to stay in the tree. I guess
I've never seen them available either.
I've never gone on.
Now too, since they put new cabins in, they've been hard to get.
Yeah, I looked the other day and I need to get that booked. I think we're going to do the cabins in June. I need to get dates because I saw they were available and reasonable. But I've never gone on there and seen a spot where the tree houses were available.
Yeah, they're always packed. And we stayed, I see Karen put the DVC at Animal Kingdom at Kidani Villages. Beautiful it is. We stayed there in August. I went through a DVC rental. I forget. I think it was DVC rental. I think it was actual the name of it, and it wasn't too bad. But like normal, it's a regular, just a suite. Had a little refrigerator and all. Wasn't a full blown kitchen or anything, but it was nice to stay there.
Yeah,
You had to walk out and go around to get to the pool. It wasn't connected.
Right.
But then you could take a bus to the main building if you wanted to. It wasn't bad.
I haven't been looking. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with DVC rentals. And someone might.
They've been talking about making changes to that.
Oh, so Matthew stayed in a treehouse.
Looky.
But he says they were smaller than he thought. And that was something else I heard, that it was kind of an old, maybe they're due for an update. So I'm looking right now in June for 5 of us, right? So Key West is $400 a night right now for pass holders, usually $668. Saratoga's $391 a night, usually $653. Art of Animation is $418. So if I had a choice between Key West and Art of Animation, where would I stay? Boardwalk is $506. So for $80 more a night, and that's usually $773. Grand Floridian's $908 a night, $587. Contemporary $780, $510 with the pass holder. Boardwalk, I've never stayed at Boardwalk. All Stars $301 a night. Why?
Why
is All Star $301 a night?
Your value resort, not anymore, Nate.
But this is why you use a travel agent too. And we used Lori Oliveri to book our little March trip. I went to look at it, and we wanted 3 nights, and Animal Kingdom wasn't available, but it was available for 4 nights. So if we'd have checked in Saturday, then we could have had it. And if we didn't, it was going to be $2,800 for 3 nights or $2,000 for 4. What? Like what sense does that make? And so Lori reserved them both for us, and then she went on hold for, and got it had them make an exception, just ask somebody, and they did it. So we got our 3 nights but we were going to book a 4th night because it was still cheaper than staying for 3 nights.
Wow.
But and again, I love, not a sponsor, I love MEI. Sue was here. Was it last week? She was stalking us, or a week before. I think, and Matthew, I know that's who they use, and she's amazing. Lori, Lori will be the 4th person I've booked. Well, 5 counting myself for the brief time period I was there, and couldn't cut the mustard in a nice way. Not that I'm not complaining at all. But everyone's been awesome. Like the first 3, everyone retired. And I'm just using Lori over the last girl I had because I've met Lori and we've become friends. Kyle, I don't know where I'm staying in February yet because I'm waiting to see what dates we're going. And yeah, just to make sure she gets a plug, MEI is awesome, Matthew says, and they definitely use Sue. And if you hang out in Lou's Clubhouse, she's definitely a prominent feature there. But yeah, I'm not sure where I'm staying in February because I'm not sure if my wife's going to go. Like, we might try to go President's Day. That was the other thing. This whole trip was kind of a cluster. And this is why I need the positivity, right? And this is why I don't get mad. My son has my car. And Chris says that Jan, is it Pepe? Pepe? Juan? Now I'm butchering it. Jan. Is another MEI fan. I mean, they really are just fantastic. But I was supposed to, so Seamus has my car because the Jeep, which is a 2000 Wrangler, and we've rebuilt most of it, new engine, new suspension, new transmission. I mean, it runs great, but the blinkers stopped working and the horn. So I didn't want to mess with it. Took it to my Jeep guy. He couldn't get it done in time. So he took my car back to school, and I've got the Jeep. And so the plan was to go down Friday in the Jeep and drop it off to him. And we got it all packed, the dog in there, the crate. I mean, just everything you can jam into a 2-door Wrangler, just filled to the brim, and got in it, and the turn signal didn't work. It had been inspected, so it worked at some point in time. And so I was just like, screw it, I want my car back. We'll take this to him. My wife's clearer, better head prevailed. So we turned around, unpacked, and drove the car down. So the point is, I want my car back, which is why I'm going down in February. But I may stay with a buddy. I may stay in St. Augustine. I like hanging out with him.
We'll be there Valentine's weekend. We'll get off the boat on Friday, and then we're going to spend Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday.
When is President's Day? Is that what the holiday is?
I think it's the week after.
I should probably book this. I need to find these dates out today because these rooms are going fast. There's a lot of stuff when I looked last time. That's the other thing. The earlier you can book, the best. And with Disney, you can throw $200 down, and as long as you watch the dates, you can get your money back.
President's Day is Monday the 16th.
Monday the 16th. Well, and then I'm going to go, but let's just, for fun, since we're doing weird stuff on this podcast, let's see how much a room. So we'd probably, what we typically do when we do that. Oh wait, Karen says February 22nd.
Oh.
Getting bad intel. Yeah, and so Matthew's in awkward silence there. Yeah, the airfare. Do y'all have Spirit from where you are? Because I will say that I flew my wife down one way, no bags, for $27, and it would have been $24, but I wanted to pick her seat. So and I like Spirit. I've had, knock on wood, no problems with them. Actually, the only problem I've had was my fault, where I booked my flight in the wrong direction. But I like Spirit. Take the first flight in, first flight out before it gets jammed up and weird. I haven't had anybody weird on the flight. And yeah, it's true. And the timing is weird because they only have flights. I know we're getting Breeze here. Breeze flies to Jacksonville, but not to Orlando from where I am now. And I think they're changing that.
Yeah, Breeze flies to Orlando from here, but only on Tuesdays.
Only on Tuesdays.
Only on Tuesdays.
We have them almost every day from where I am. But the timing can be strange. So sometimes I'll check and see what the flights are like. I prefer driving, if I'm being honest. Like the time is a bummer. So like when we come down in February, we'll do the same thing we did this time. My wife gets out of school at 2:30. We're on the road by 4. Get to Santee at 10 o'clock at night, something like that. Spend the night there, and then it's 5.5 hours in the morning. Yeah. Drop the dog off at my kid's house in Jacksonville, and we're at at Disney by 3, have a full day Sunday, and then drive back on Monday the whole way.
Yeah, so we'll leave. We'll usually leave here about like 7 o'clock. That usually puts us there after a Buc-ee's stop in Brunswick, around 2 o'clock, and then we kind of just goof off around the hotel on that our first day there. But the drive for us isn't bad. We usually get to Brunswick in like 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and then it's 2 hours from Brunswick
Yeah.
to the gate. So it's not bad.
It's funny. Matthew said he's driven the last 2 years, but much more affordable, except for the mileage on the lease. All right, then we really can go, because now I feel like I'm just rambling. But so we drove our car down. It broke down one time. Our minivan broke down one time. And this, hey, and speaking of amazing customer service, we broke down at the water park. It was an alternator, had it towed, AAA, took it to somewhere. I had to go get it. We were staying at Wilderness Lodge, and I went down to the counter and said, do you have a shuttle into town? They're like, where do you need to go? I said, here. They gave me a sheet and said, just give this to the driver. I said, okay. Called me a cab, like a legit taxi. This is pre-Uber. Got all the way to the place. It was like an $80 cab ride. And I handed him the sheet. He goes, oh, okay, thanks. You're all taken care of. And I was like, oh, well, let me give you a tip. He's like, nope, Disney took care of that too.
Wow.
Like, they didn't have to do that. I didn't ask for it. I mean, it was just awesome. But after that, Matthew, my point is we started renting a car. And the crazy thing is, so again, with the kids are older now and we may not do it, but we would go from here to Disney, Virginia Beach to Disney, Disney to Key West to Cashiers, which is up in the Smoky Mountains, and then back to Virginia Beach. That was our July. And look, it is awesome, but I can work from wherever I am. Like 95% of my job is on the phone or on the computer. So I work when I travel. But we rented a car and it used to be like $1,800 for a month.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'd get a full-size Suburban. It was cheaper to rent it for the month than it was for a week. Like, it was very bizarre. And I used Avis. I liked Avis. They were the cheapest and the best in my experience. But we'd rent a car for the month of July every year and save the mileage on our car, and it was awesome. Then you don't have to worry about what you drive it like a rental. You have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But after COVID, rental prices started going way, way up. It's gotten ridiculous. I haven't even looked in a while. I just put a new transmission in my car, so I got plenty of time on it now. Every other little thing is breaking on it, but are you Chevy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll drop it. I'll drop it off on the way back. You can fix the running.
Okay.
My automatic running board isn't working anymore. Makes a horrible noise.
Yeah, the motor probably went out in it.
It makes this terrible noise, like roo, 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 roo.
Oh, yeah. Motor's bad.
Oh, awesome.
We see that a lot.
Great. I don't really care. It's an old car. It's really my work car, but and you can turn it off so the boards just stay down. That's probably what I'll do. Yeah. I got a big dent in the side I haven't fixed either. That's how much I care. I'm not really a car guy. What else we got, Andrew? Should we call it a night? We got some great guests coming up.
I think we did all right. I just think any festivals, you can't go wrong going to any of them. It's just always something to see, always something to do. But Flower Garden and the Christmas festival, those are pretty much the two I like the most. But Festival Arts is cool. I think it's a filler because at that time of year they had nothing, and put arts in. My child is now she's in the gifted and talented program at school. She
nice.
We'll be she's for music, so we'll be seeing that more and more, and so arts is good. Everybody should enjoy it at some point in their life.
That's what my wife does. She's a gifted teacher.
Oh, cool.
On the high school level. Yeah, you're 100% right. I will say this, that it is really a situation where, and root beer got me. It's really a situation where if you wanted to do everything, if you wanted to do 70% of it, it's 2 days. Like there's no way, even if you skipped all the attractions, didn't ride any rides, there's no way. I mean, well, not no way. Maybe you're better than me, but I can't get, I mean, I can barely put a dent in what I want to do because there's scavenger hunts. I mean, and even taking the little, like, Find Olaf at the Festival of the Holidays, kind of a kiddier thing. Yeah. There's stuff to do all day there. Oh, yeah. And it's hard to get around. You really need 2 days to see everything, to eat all the food. And, you know, if you're a drinker, there's tons of really fascinating beers and alcohol. I mean, they do great mocktails. It's awesome. I think they've done a good job of,
if you're at Epcot and say you can't have fun, you're the problem, not.
Yeah, that's Epcot. Right. That's pretty much all of Disney
pretty
World.
Much everything.
It can be stressful, right? But it's also a blast.
Yep.
Well, cool. Well, we have some amazing guests coming up. We got 2 weeks in a row filled. I don't know if we have topics yet, but we have guests. We do actually. I'm going to save. I'll tell you. We have Brian Crawford coming back from Keeping Walt in Disney, and that's not next week, the week after. And we're going to save, so everybody go watch. I know we will. Handcrafted, the making of Disneyland. We'll save that topic and talk with him about that, because he'll be a great resource for that. He'll be the perfect person to chat about that. But we're going to have Lisa Donata Glasser coming on, and she's going to talk about marathons or whatever she wants. And then we just need to figure out something for Paul next week. We could do a top 10, or, well, I'll figure something out. Because Paul's got a lot of talents, a lot of interesting things. Maybe he just wants to talk about, if you ever wonder anything about Native American festivals or powwows, he's your man. He's really cool, and I consider him a good friend. So I'm excited for Andrew to meet him, who would already have met him if you'd been to Momentum.
I've already signed up for this year.
Have you really?
I already put my time in at work.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. All right, guys. Well, please check out But Mostly Disney everywhere. The only thing I don't think I have is on YouTube. I'm still at Utator, but I have But Mostly Disney. I just haven't transferred it over. So I'm waiting for that to happen. And then if you were thinking about getting Audible, please don't yet. Wait till next week. And I'll have a code where you can help Andrew and I out by doing that. And the best way to help it is to like our stuff and share it. Bring a friend if you want, that kind of thing. And if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know.
Yep.
You know, hopefully, if I'm down in the parks, I try to put my schedule out so that if someone else is down there, Kyle, we can meet up and do something together in person. And Caleb will hopefully have you next week for the news. I'll get in touch with you over the weekend, and we'll get it set up ahead of time. So thanks as always, guys, for listening to me ramble about Disney for a little while and help feed my addiction a little bit. And I'll see you next week.
See you guys. Thanks.